This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Welcome, everyone, to the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jeff Malinoff, and with me is Mark Souza. It is finally time for our predictions for Super Bowl 53. We're going to say our predictions, then end this in 5 minutes. I'm just kidding.
Whoa. 5?
4.
Nope.
3. 2. 1.
Nope.
All right, have a good day, everybody. Just kidding.
All
right. Anyways, we're obviously going to be talking nothing but the Super Bowl because this Sunday is a national holiday for all of you and us. It's Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta, Georgia. And the last time the Super Bowl was in Atlanta, the Rams won the Super Bowl. Did not see that coming again. I should really look over at you when I see you holding your phone, thinking you're actually going to do that.
Anyways.
I need to get one of my own, like John Cena ones.
Bro. You ever walk around like waking people up with that?
No,
I will this
I'm
weekend.
I'm not a douche.
I will this weekend. I'll be at my parents' house because we have their annual Super Bowl party. I'll be walking around at 7 a.m. or so, maybe 6:30, waking everybody up. Don't worry, I'll have coffee. And
I really hope your dad kicks your ass.
No, I mean he'll be up before me probably.
Oh, you guys should know what sleep is. It's nice, the great thing.
Man, I can sleep when I'm dead, man. Why do you want to sleep? Sleep's not fun. Sleep's boring.
Sleep's amazing. What are you talking about?
Yeah, if it's boring. I mean...
Hashtag naps for life.
You gotta... Yeah, a nap is cool. Like 15, 20 minutes here and there. That's cool. But you gotta go out and experience the world.
I usually do 1 to 2 hour naps. Maybe even 3.
That's just called a sleep.
Then I'm sleeping every day. I'm loving it. I love my days.
Mm-hmm.
I work, I go take a nap, then I do something.
Yeah. Yeah, but then you sleep too long.
The thing is, I work in the mornings, and most of the people I know work in like the afternoons and nights, so I don't have anyone to like hang out with because I'm done by the time they're starting work.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. Anyways, Super Bowl 53.
Yes, that's happening this weekend.
Rams, Patriots.
Those are the teams that are playing. Oh, just in, the judge threw out the case of the Rams and the Saints playing each other again. They will not play each other, FYI. They will not have a redo.
A little late for that. Mm-hmm. Because if they even decided that, then they would have to postpone the Super Bowl, which is going to cost everyone millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen.
What? Postponing the Super Bowl?
Yep.
Yeah. So they would have it on Saturday, like the fourth quarter, and then have them play on the next day.
Mm-hmm.
That would be rough.
So
stop your complaining, Saints fans. It's over. I'm sorry. I know it's tough.
Did
but
you see the
no
petition?
more lawsuits.
Did you see the petition of
Isn't it almost
NFL
like
fans to remove the Saints from the NFL because of their
Oh my God,
complaining?
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I want to sign it. No, I'm kidding. But I understand that you're angry, but I don't think any other fan base has ever filed lawsuits at the NFL for being rigged or thinking to restart a game. Every team has had referee cost them games here and there, and in big-time games. I don't think I've ever heard of lawsuits over a game.
There probably has been one or two in
Not at this
history.
extent.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was also the NFC Championship game too, so...
Yeah, it's just unprecedented is all.
Mm-hmm. People really get upset over this stuff, man. It's what football fans do.
I know. I love everyone's passion. Don't get me wrong, but there's a time when to stop, and it's time to stop. So
So
stop
today's show will obviously be everything about Super Bowl 53 this Sunday, Atlanta, Georgia, Mercedes-Benz Dome, Rams, Patriots, Part 2, I guess we should say.
It's the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, not Dome. I know it's kind of confusing because
It is a dome.
it's called Mercedes-Benz Stadium, though.
Sure, but it's a dome.
It's the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. That's the difference. They actually make it very clear.
I know.
It's I hate it.
But it's a
too.
dome. I
Yeah.
mean, like it's.
Why does
it's
why does Mercedes-Benz even need 2 stadiums named after them, anyways?
Hey, AT&T has a park and
Not anymore.
a stadium. Well, I mean, it did for many years.
AT&T, yeah, true, but they're not AT&T Park. It's Oracle Park now. So
Yeah,
Oracle
but
is
it
losing
was
their
for
arena.
many years. Is what I'm saying.
True.
Like there was an overlap.
But not in the same sport. This is the same sport. I feel like that's different.
Hey, man, when you give a team $50 million to name it what you want, you can name it whatever you want.
Yeah, true.
So,
Like Smoothie King Center.
yeah, the other dome in New Orleans.
Smoothie King. Oh, is that what you mean?
Yeah, because, it's
confused.
the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, the other
Yeah.
dome.
Yep.
Anyways, we have a Rams preview. We have a Patriots preview. We also have the best things that you can eat and drink on Super Bowl Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about what you like to eat, what you like to drink, how you plan your day out, because we know it's an event.
It's a holiday.
We talked about it before. I asked you if you're going to be watching basketball earlier in the day. You said no because you have a routine.
Exactly.
And we'll talk about that. We can also talk about any previous Super Bowl commercials, maybe that come to mind. Maybe some epic or some bad ones, good and bad. I don't really have too much to say about that, but I always thought that maybe you would have some opinions when it came to that.
Sure.
Also, we'll give our predictions, of course, as we always do throughout the season. We'll also talk about, if we have time pending, of course, Jerry Jones and his latest odd comments about Jason Garrett, something that I at least found a little bit interesting in the things that he had to say about Jason Garrett's future in Dallas. But first and foremost, I think we got to start off with the Rams because they are...
I think we got to talk about the most important thing about this.
Well, they are the... in this matchup, I mean, I know that the Patriots didn't win the Super Bowl last year, but in this matchup, the Rams are the challenger, right? Like the Patriots are the champion, quote unquote, because they've been there before. That's the tried and true. They've won, they've lost, but they're always in it. And the Rams are the new kid on the block.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the Rams. Let's break it down. All right, we'll go deep dive here.
We got to talk about the most important thing about the Rams is that they're wearing their blue and yellow jerseys.
That is a big component.
I love it.
Didn't you have a stat about the color of the uniforms
Oh,
in the
yes.
Super Bowl or the Patriots?
Before the Eagles won the Super Bowl in their color jerseys, in their home jerseys,
okay.
from Super Bowl 46 to Super Bowl 51, the team with the white away jerseys won the Super Bowl.
So the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl.
Well, the streak ended.
Oh, so we have a new streak.
So right now, it's 1-game winning streak for the home team. But 45, the Packers won against the Steelers, and they were wearing their home jerseys. 44, the Saints were wearing away. 43, the Steelers were wearing away. 42, the Giants were wearing away. 41, the Colts were wearing away. 40, same thing. And 39 was the same also. They were away, the Patriots were wearing away also. See the one I'm getting at here? Mm-hmm. Team that wears away jerseys have a humongous advantage over the home team in the last 20 years.
It means absolutely nothing, right?
No, I think there is a little bit of a. I'm sorry. I feel like that's an advantage.
What do you think? Do you think that the streak is over, or do you what do you think? Who has the advantage in this superstition?
I still give it to the Patriots still because they're wearing their away jerseys.
Oh.
Because it just statistically.
But the Patriots lost in their away jerseys last year.
But they've won in their away jerseys as well.
Well, they've played in a million Super Bowls, so they've won, they've lost, they've cried, they've laughed, in all the colors.
They have lost in both jerseys.
Sick
what
if they wore red? Because they haven't worn red.
Do you mean their old school jerseys?
Because they have to. the last thing for the Patriots to do is to defeat the badness that happened to them against the Bears.
Do you know that
they need to? What do you call that when you they have to win.
They've won the red jerseys before in the Super Bowl in '85, and they got crushed.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They have to
erase the negativity.
Yeah, what's the word when you erase something that happened?
The jinx, the erase history. Time machine. I don't know what you're talking about.
They have to. God, what's the synonym here? They have to, I guess, avenge the red jerseys. They gotta clear that from history, right?
Well, spoiler alert: they're wearing their white, just regular old away jerseys.
Yeah, that's boring.
I honestly love their '90s look, where it was blue and the Patriot logos on their shoulder pads. I love that look.
I like the red jersey. I like when Patriots wear red.
Oh, I like it too, but I was always just
I'm
a fan of the
also a fan
weird
of red. And not a fan of dark blue, so I like blue, but not the dark.
Honestly, I just like the big ass Patriots logo on the shoulder pads.
You mean the guy with the football?
Yeah.
Not the
no,
head, right?
No, the head was on the shoulder pads. I'll show you a picture.
I like the old school logo.
Oh, I love the old school. The old school logo.
3-point stance.
They should never have changed that. First of all, but
all right. So let's talk about the Rams.
Do we have to? Let's keep talking about jerseys.
Sean McVay is the youngest coach, right? Is he the youngest coach ever participate in a Super Bowl? A head coach?
I'm sure he has to.
Well, I don't know because back in the day there's some weird.
See, this is the Patriots jersey I was talking about, the big logo.
Yeah. That's the one that they wore in the 90s.
Yeah, when they lost the Super Bowl of the Packers. I honestly am just a huge fan of those. Those are just
I
underrated.
like that blue better than the dark blue that they rock.
Oh,
now.
100%.
That blue's better.
I like light blue better than because it's the blue the Rams wear.
True blue,
true blue
like
is
the
perfect.
Rams blue. Yeah, the Rams navy blue is not good.
Yeah,
navy blue is not good.
Yeah,
the teams need to get away from navy.
I wonder
blue.
why they're not wearing that. Because honestly, their blue yellow jerseys are probably the most gorgeous ones in the NFL right now.
They're pretty good. They're
They're top three, right? You got to put them in top three.
I would say that top
three jerseys.
It's hard to say on the spot. Definitely top 5. I don't know.
It's gorgeous, dude. They're gorgeous. It's also simplistic, and I love. The best jerseys are the simplest. I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Never try too hard.
So Rams. All right, let's go back to them.
Okay.
Goff. 17-year difference than his counterpart, first ballot Hall of Famer, maybe the greatest football player of all time, maybe the greatest quarterback of all time, probably the greatest quarterback of all time, but still, regardless, it's a big difference between a young quarterback, unestablished, versus an established veteran.
I mean, the 199th pick overall versus the first pick overall. And when Goff came into the NFL, he had a rough start. He got benched.
He had a rough start before that.
He
got picked by a Jeff Fisher team.
True. And the thing is, a lot of people said he was going to be a bust when he was the first overall pick. Mm-hmm. Because his throwing accuracy was completely off. He couldn't throw the ball deep. He just had a lot of flaws that people saw that he could not get better at, but he got better. I think maybe it's the new coaching, new offensive scheme maybe. But he has overcame the really rough slump of the first couple of years of his career, and now he's playing in a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Jared Goff has completely changed from what he was in year one. Now, there is a question on, is he playing well right now? Right? Like, he hasn't been playing that well over the last 6 to 8 weeks. It really has been a tale of two halves for Jared Goff this year.
I do have his stats from the last 2 games in the playoffs, if you would like to listen to them.
Yeah, and they've ran the ball more. They've scored more rushing touchdowns. So I know his touchdown. He probably has 1 or 2 touchdown passes in the last 2 games.
Well, here's his divisional round matchup when they played the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes,
he went 15 of 28 for 186 yards.
He didn't have to throw the ball that much,
and
they just ran for 250 that game.
Yeah, no touchdowns and no picks, but only 186 yards and
I think they scored 3 touchdowns as a team. 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 for CJ, 1 for Gurley, if I remember correctly.
So it was a very rough. And then here's Tom Brady. I'll just say Tom Brady's as well. He went 34 of 44 for 343 yards and a touchdown. That's a big difference.
That was last week?
That was the divisional round.
Okay.
This is the conference championship.
Sure.
If it loads.
Well, Goff didn't have a great game. Brady threw the ball a lot in that game.
True.
In the second half. But there is a difference there. Running backs, we got to talk about Gurley and C.J. Anderson. Now, this is where this is a big deal, man, for me, because Todd Gurley has just not looked like himself over the last.
He's still fighting an injury. There's a lot of doubt in.
Yeah,
mind.
I mean, we keep hearing that he's fine. We keep hearing that he's okay, but nobody's really buying it. I'm not buying it. You're not buying it. I would say most people are not buying it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, C.J. Anderson didn't just all of a sudden. Is C.J. Anderson Rogue from the X-Men? Did she steal his powers or something? Did C.J. Anderson get signed?
Steal Todd Gurley's powers,
and then he touched Gurley and
sucked
Gurley his MVP-ness out of him.
Pretty sure Gurley was already injured by that point. So thinking when he signed the contract, he was touching Gurley as he was signing to get his powers. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
but here and then with Jared Goff in the conference championship as well, he went 25 of 40 for 297, a touchdown and a pick.
Mm-hmm.
So he hasn't had the best of stats, the most attractive stats. I mean, throwing for under 300 yards in back-to-back games, I feel like that's troubling. And throwing for under 200 yards in one of those games in the playoffs is extremely troubling to me. But what I think is, you're right. They run the ball a lot. They are a running team, and with that, he kind of had to throw the ball a little more than usual. Again, the conference championship, just due to the fact that, I mean, C.J. Anderson had a rough game, as well as when you think of, and then Todd Gurley barely. Did he even play the conference championship game? I don't think he even played.
Gurley played. He had that terrible drop pass. That's
right. That's right.
He played. He didn't play much. He got
struggled.
5 carries, I think.
Yeah.
6 touches overall.
He was basically non-existent, you can say, in terms. And with that, I have to say, right now, based off how players are doing, you got to give the advantage to the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, let's keep going with this breakdown, though. So Gurley, I mean, I don't know what to expect from him on Sunday, to be honest with you. I do expect – I will say this. I think Todd Gurley is going to be ready to play. I think with this extra 2 weeks –
I think he has to be.
And I think with the magnitude of this game, they'll pump him up. They'll get him in. They'll get him the painkillers. It'll be going. You know what I mean? I just feel like he's not 100%, but I think he'll be closer on Sunday than he has been in the rest of the last month or so.
He did get 2 weeks off.
Right.
So that can only mean good things.
And it's been about 5 or 6 weeks since he got hurt. So, maybe that's the amount of time that he needed. C.J. Anderson's been running the ball just fine for them, but I do think, don't you kind of think that, they need Gurley to have a big game to win? I know C.J. Anderson's been doing well, but don't you kind of feel like they need the X factor from Gurley?
Yeah.
They need CJ's good. Don't get me wrong. He's been performing very well.
But Gurley's on another level.
But they need a couple big runs by Gurley, a couple big plays, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So, all right, wide receivers though, Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods. Brandon Cooks, he's playing against his former team. What do you think about that? What do you think about Brandon Cooks playing against the Patriots? Is that a good thing for the Rams or a bad thing for the Rams?
It's not really anything. I think it's just more for Brandon Cooks in general. I think it's just this is I can show why you shouldn't have traded me type of game. He could have that kind of breakout game, So, but I don't see it as a good thing or a bad thing. I just think we'll see how things go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a storyline to me.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks. It is interesting. I think that there is a little bit of an advantage to his old team. I think that they know Brandon Cooks. I think Belichick knows Brandon Cooks. I think they'll figure out how to limit him. He won't get stopped, but I think they'll limit him. Robert Woods is interesting, though, because Robert Woods, I think, is the X factor for the Rams because he is such a good all-around wide receiver. He provides them a lot. He plays on the right-hand side of that offense. They run a lot of bunch formations. He does a lot in the blocking game. He does a lot in motion. He's a great wide receiver. I mean, he makes all kinds of plays. He's a better red zone wide receiver than people give him credit for. I think Robert Woods is one of the more underrated players in the NFL, and I think he might be a problem this Sunday. I really do.
I think he's not looked at by the defensive Patriots as anyone else is like they should.
He's also had some success against the Patriots playing for the Buffalo Bills previously, which it seems like a long time ago, but
who are the Bills?
A team that the Patriots beat twice a year.
Yeah.
One of them.
One of them that helps the Patriots get into the playoffs, basically.
Offensive line, the Rams' offensive line has looked pretty good. I thought they did really well against the Saints. The Saints, they really handled that noise, I thought, in New Orleans. That offensive line for the Rams, I really think, held their own. What do you think about that?
I agree with you.
It's really hard to play there. Like, you remember was it the first play of the game between the Rams and the Saints when the Rams players, when Goff and like 3 linemen were all like doing a mini huddle at the line of scrimmage? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Like they were.
He went in front of them.
Yeah, and it was like, what is going on?
I thought that was going to be like a penalty of some kind because I thought he was like crossing the line of scrimmage. I was like, is this legal?
So they won't have to deal with that, which is obviously easier.
Neutral ground does make it a big difference.
I think the Rams offensive line can handle the Patriots. I think what we'll really need to see is a Rams offense that can run the football effectively. If they cannot run the football effectively, I don't think they win this game.
I agree with you. That they live and die by their running game.
Now, defensively, what was that stat that you talked about Tom Brady in his losses in the Super Bowl? What did the opposing teams have in common?
Well, the teams that lost, they gave him at least 40% pressure.
At least 40% of the time in the Super Bowl losses,
he was under
Brady
pressure.
was under pressure. Yes.
So they need to pressure him. They need to get past that offensive line.
I got 2 numbers for you.
99?
So you said 40%.
Mm-hmm.
No, you said 40%, right?
Mm-hmm.
In 2018, the Rams pressured the quarterback 39% of the time. And the other number for you is in the playoffs, Tom Brady has been pressured 11% of the time. So what we'll give on Sunday is what we need to look at.
I'm going to say a very interesting number, which I kind of already spoiled, but 99.
Yes, Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
What about 93, Ndamukong Suh?
I think it's going to come down to Aaron Donald, though. I really do. I think it's going to. If he can't get to Brady, I don't think they win this game. I don't think they stop him, at least.
Rams linebackers will have their hands full covering James White. I think that will be an interesting matchup. I do like the Rams corners, though, against the Patriots wide receivers. And I say that because I think Aqib Talib will be matched up on Julian Edelman. And if that's the case, I love that matchup for the Rams. Because Julian Edelman's a good player, but Aqib Talib's a physical cornerback.
And he played with them before.
That's a big deal.
That is a huge deal because how many times probably at practice
Julian Edelman relies a lot on quickness and shiftiness. So if he kind of knows him, if he kind of knows his moves, and he's bigger, he's a bigger player than Julian Edelman, you know.
And the biggest thing to me is they probably practice against each other one-on-one a bunch of times.
Absolutely.
He probably knows Julian Edelman better than anyone else.
I think it's an underrated matchup to take a look at. Marcus Peters can get burned on the other side.
But about that, though, the same thing goes to Julian Edelman. He knows Aqib Talib probably just as good as Aqib Talib knows Julian Edelman. So it's just a battle of, who's going to outsmart the other, almost. Mm-hmm. Would you say so?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game within the game, right?
Gameception?
Well, it'll be something where I think they'll even focus on. I think that you know what I see when we're watching the game, Jeff. They'll cut between plays and they'll look at that matchup. They'll be like, "Oh, look at
100%.
Talib, all handsy on Edelman last play."
Talib's been talking as well during media day, so it's not like this is going silent.
Yeah. So when I look at it, also I will say this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Rams might have the advantage in the special teams department. They have Johnny Hecker, their punter, who's a good punter, also good at trick plays. I don't know if this will happen, but he is probably the best punter in the NFL at running trick plays. Can we agree on that? He's been doing that since Jeff Fisher's days.
He
can throw the football. He can throw the ball, which is kind of crazy.
He's been known to be a little bit of a trickster, the known trickster punter in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think him and Zerline. Zerline made that big kick last game, 57 yards to put them in the Super Bowl. I think he might be the best kicker in the NFL in terms of overall length of his kicks plus accuracy. I mean, he might not be the most accurate, but he might have the biggest leg, and he is very accurate. If he's got to be top 3 or top 4 accurate, and the dude, I mean, we just saw him kick a 57-yarder to win the game.
That's what I was going to
That could have
bring
been
up.
good from 75, I'm pretty sure.
I could go to 80 probably with that because that was beautiful. Like it hit the net like
He
about
couldn't hit it any better. He could not have hit it any better.
Like he doesn't like, and that was a big pressure kick and from a far. That's a far 57 yards is far too in a game time situation like that. So if it comes down to it, he might be the Adam Vinatieri of this game. If I have to pick one of the kickers, I'm picking him. If I need a game-winning kick, I'm picking him. I might pick him against...
Gostkowski, though, can't be overlooked.
I'm not taking that away. But honestly, as of right now, I might take him over anyone else in the NFL. And that's a bold statement because there's a lot of great kickers out there. But he's doing something special.
Yeah, some would say that it's very important for a playoff team, for a Super Bowl contender to invest in a kicker. And what better way to invest and plan for your retirement? It's always best to get advice from the experts. Best-selling author Harry Dent, America's #1 economist, says the dark window is open. There's an opportunity to rapidly boost your retirement savings before the greatest stock market crash in American history. But this dark window won't be open for long. You can make 10 times the annual average stock market gain in just a few short months, according to the research of renowned Harvard economist Harry Dent, though this window could slam shut later this year, and nobody on Wall Street is expecting it. This dark window is something bigger by far than anything he's predicted up to this point. And you could make 10 times the annual average stock market gain. Find out more by going to www.harrydentforecast.com. There's a very short time to take advantage of this dark window, so go to www.harrydentforecast.com to learn more.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines, they got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Football Podcast. We just finished discussing what the Rams need to do to win this game. Now let's talk about how the Patriots need to do to win this game. And I think it obviously starts and ends with one name.
Julian Edelman. No?
Frank Reich. I'm kidding. Tom Brady, obviously.
Tom Brady.
Because he is still playing at a high level. I mean, 41 years old, still playing the best football. And with this, I have to say, if that offensive line lets Aaron Donald through, I don't think Brady has a good game. Like you said, 40% pressure means loss.
It's all about pressuring Brady.
Yeah.
And I think it's all about pressuring him without a blitz, right?
Yeah, and how great the Patriots' offensive line is, that's just how good Aaron Donald is. Because he can get through that. He can get through any line in the league. Mm-hmm. I think we can both agree on that. And if he can't get through that line, I say the Patriots take this. This all comes down to the front line. Yeah.
I would say front four, definitely, because if you blitz Brady, you will get burned. You can do it once or twice, but you can't make a living off of it. Wade Phillips won't be able to do it all game.
They do have a very powerful defensive both defensive inside defensive tackles for sure when it comes down to Sue and Donald.
Yeah, I guess that's the biggest question is, will Brady be able to get rid of the ball before he takes any sacks or is pressured, by that front line, especially those interior defensive linemen? What about the run game, though? What about the running backs for the Patriots? What do you see from them this Sunday? Will they be able to sustain success against a Rams defense that's been really stingy to running backs in the last 2 games?
That is excellent. Sony Michel's been playing excellent so far, though. Like, he's had 100-yard games in both the over 100-yard games in both the divisional and conference championship games. In the divisional round, he had 129 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, this guy has been on fire throughout the entire playoffs. And so if he can't get it done, I'm in a serious concern when it comes down to it for the Patriots. And like he had against the conference championship game, he had 113 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, this guy has been on the ground absolutely awesome for the Patriots, and they're going to continue to ride him based off that momentum.
Yeah. It'll be imperative for me when I look at this Patriots team. I think they need to run the ball well on Sunday, because if they don't, I think you give the Rams defense a chance to pin their ears back and rush Brady. And as good as the Patriots offensive line has been, it's going to be hard to keep Donald, keep Sue, Brockers, Dante Fowler off of Tom Brady. It just is. We know that Aaron Donald is an absolute game wrecker, and on his best day, Ndamukong Suh is one as well. So, for me, if they run the ball effectively, they can dictate the game. If they don't run the ball effectively and Tom Brady has to pass every 2 out of 3 plays, I think it could be a long day for Brady. I really do. One thing we have to note is that the Rams' defense has been really stingy against the run this postseason after being very giving against the run for most of the season. They've really stepped their game up. They stopped Ezekiel Elliott. I think he had 50 yards on 20 carries. They stepped up
for sure. Like, they listened to Kevin Hart's stand-up. They stepped up, step up, you know. And, the best time to step up is obviously during the playoffs. And, it's motivation from coaches or just the right game plan. But, stopping Ezekiel Elliott was a great sign of things to come for this defense. Because if you can stop Ezekiel Elliott, you can stop anybody. But I do have to say, Sony Michel has been on momentum that you can compare to a lot of great playoff runs. So,
do you think this offensive line will be able to control the line of scrimmage against this Rams front 4?
See, that's the biggest question, isn't it? Because that's where this game is going to be valued the most. Because if they can, they got this game in the bag. But if they let Donald through, let's say, 2 times a drive or 2 times every 4 downs, that's serious trouble.
Yep.
So I honestly don't know, because Aaron Donald's a monster, but that offensive line is no joke either. It's going to be a battle.
Let's shift our focus to the defense for the Patriots. Their defense played very well against the Chiefs for a half last week, and then the second half they just got bulldozed. There's nothing else to it. The Patriots won that game because of how good Tom Brady was at the end of the day. They had a great first half, a good game plan going into that game. Obviously, they flustered the Chiefs long enough. Shutting out the Chiefs at halftime was crazy, but they also gave up 31 points in the second half. What do you see from the Patriots' defense this Sunday against an inexperienced quarterback, but against a great offensive mind in Sean McVay? Do we expect the same? Do we expect more of what we saw in the first half against the Chiefs, or do we expect the Rams to put up some serious points and yards against this defense?
If history repeats itself like it did 2 weeks ago, and they let it go in the second half, they're dead in the water. They cannot let this team bounce back in the second half, because Sean McVay will eat them alive. Because he is one of the smarter coaches offensively in the league. We both agree on that. And they said they stopped a very, very powerful, maybe the best offense in the league in the Chiefs, but the second half they let them explode.
I think it's going to be harder for the Patriots to stop the Rams than the Chiefs. And my reason is because the Patriots had the luxury of playing against the Chiefs once before.
Oh, I see. And they haven't had it.
They haven't played the Rams this year.
So they have to look at tape and not go off experience.
Right. So when you're developing a game plan and you've already played a team before, it's easier to look at that game and see what they're doing differently, doing the same. It just gives your players more familiarity, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if you know this or noticed, but the Rams run pretty much the same personnel every single play, no matter what the scenario is. They don't use a fullback. They use 3 receivers, 1 running back, 1 tight end, and they're always in bunch personnel. They're always in a bunch formation.
They do have a very predictable
formation.
Yeah.
But it makes them unpredictable in the way they call their plays because they run everything from the same formation. So you never know if they're going to run, pass, play action pass. The Rams are super good at play action pass. They're very good at running routes side to side on the field because they bunch everybody in the middle of the field. Then they can get their fast receivers running outside against maybe slower defenders. I think that might be an advantage for the Rams just because they are a different offense than other teams. They just are.
Well, that's why they were so good this season. That's why they were the second seed, a potential first seed. They were undefeated for a good period of time, for like eight weeks roughly. Is because they're different from other teams. They're not predictable.
It's hard to prepare for them. It's hard
exactly. They are hard to prepare for. But the thing is, the Patriots have 2 weeks to prepare. Do you think that plays a difference?
That's a factor. You're giving a Belichick team 2 weeks to prepare for a young quarterback.
Absolutely.
I think that is big for sure. And I would feel more comfortable if I was a Rams fan if Goff had played better up to this point. He's not playing at the top of his game. No one would argue that, right? So
yeah.
I am very much concerned if you're looking at it from the Rams' perspective. Now, one thing that the Patriots did do against the Chiefs to disrupt the passing game in the first half was they jammed and played a lot of man-to-man against the Chiefs receivers. Do you think we'll see something similar against the Rams receivers this week?
See, I don't know because I feel like they are 2 different wide receiving cores. And I don't know, like there's Brandon Cooks, there's like Josh Reynolds, there's a lot of, I know if they had Coop, this would be a whole different story, but losing him is a big factor.
Yep.
It's not like everyone's like saying that's stating the obvious, but not as big a factor as it was previously. This could be even a huge factor for this game, but that's why Brandon Cooks needs to have the game of his life.
Cooks or Robert Woods.
Robert Woods too, but I think Brandon Cooks, if he wants to prove that he was a mistake trading him, like that's a storyline also in this game. But I think the fact of the matter is, Cooks is going to be looked at because they know what he can do because he was on that team. They probably practiced with him before. There was a couple of guys on that defensive side. So that is something to look at. Also, Robert Woods needs to step up. But I think when it comes down to it, the Rams need to just run the ball. They just – I am having doubts about Jared Goff. I'm not going to lie to you. And the running game just seems to be what they're best with and what they're comfortable with. So just keep going the road. You can do some play action stuff, sure, but I would rely more on this running game than the passing game in this scenario. It just seems like the right thing to do.
So would you if you had to give the advantage on offense to the Patriots or the Rams, who would you give the advantage on offense to?
I might have to give it to the Patriots just because Todd Gurley's injury is still questionable, and Jared Goff's play has been questionable.
And Tom Brady.
and Sony Michel.
How about defensively? Who do you give the edge to there?
I think I got to give it to Donald and the Rams, man.
What about special teams?
Special teams is interesting, but I think the special teams like we were talking about before, the trickery and the unpredictability has to go to the Rams.
Yeah.
But again, when you look at like the return men, Julian Edelman is usually their return guy.
Who can bench press more reps, Belichick or Sean McVay?
McVay.
Obviously, I know.
I don't think there was a question. Like, why was that even a question?
Does Sean McVay look more like the strength and conditioning coach or the head coach of an NFL team?
That's a good point. I would say he looks more...
Doesn't he look more like he's a strength and conditioning... Like, if you didn't know who the head coach was and saw a row of guys, you'd be like, oh, Wade Phillips, that's your head coach.
I would say he's more like of the quarterback's coach or like somewhere on the offensive side coach.
Yeah. But he's ripped. Like the dude is like got guns.
It doesn't show on the field, does it though?
Well, I mean, and when he's wearing like a
the baggy,
polo,
yeah.
he does. But when he's wearing like a jacket, you can't tell.
Over the playoffs, he has it. But like when he
wears like the polo and khaki look on the sideline, though, like
he's tearing that shirt like he's the Hulk.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting game, man. I think
great matchups.
The Rams. I don't know. It's so hard. We'll give our prediction later
in
the show.
It all comes down to the jerseys. No, I'm kidding.
We need to go to a break, and when we come back,
Yes.
we'll talk about Super Bowl food. We'll talk about, I think you wanted to maybe bring up a commercial or two that stood out to your mind in the previous Super Bowls.
We can invest in all that later. But I want to talk about investing in your personal lives. Because when investing and planning for your retirement, it's always best to get advice from the experts. Best-selling author Harry Dent, America's #1 economist, says the dark window is open. There's an opportunity to rapidly boost your retirement savings before the greatest stock market crash in American history. But this dark window won't be open for long. You can make up to 10 times the annual average stock market gain in just a few short months. Find out more by going to www.harrydentforecast.com. There is a very short time to take advantage of this dark window. So once again, go to www.harrydentforecast.com to learn more.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA. From the UFC to extreme cage fighting, they got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome, everyone, to the GSMC football podcast. We're finishing up our Super Bowl stuff. We predicted how the two teams need to figure out. Now, we're talking about food.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you just straight up, what is your favorite food when it comes to watching football in general?
Wings, man. I love chicken wings. I'm a sucker.
Boneless
for
or with bones?
Bone.
Oh, you got to go boneless.
No. Boneless? Come on, man.
What?
They taste better with the bone in.
No, I like them better boneless. I like the crunch.
What? Crunch?
I like a crunchy wing.
Isn't that like a chicken nugget?
Kind of, but it's not like a super crunchy thing.
I don't think
I've
I've had a crunchy
like
wing.
it's cooked like so it's crispy. So there is a crunch, but it is still a chicken wing. But I go boneless. I go boneless all the way.
You got to have the
mild sauce.
Boneless is no fun. It's like having sunflower seeds without the shell. You know, you got to have the bone in, so it's like part of the experience.
I like to have my hands mainly clean while watching games.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like to take a drink of stuff, and I don't want sauce.
But are you eating the boneless wings with a fork?
Well, I only take, it's like you take 2 fingers, boom. You're not grabbing it like a monster and just shoving it down, like trying to get in. Your mouth gets all dirty. It's much cleaner just to take a little bit
All right. What is your preferred snack during the Super Bowl?
Boneless wings.
God, boneless
that or
wings.
nachos.
I feel like if I went to a Super Bowl party and there was boneless wings, I'd be like...
Well, you're not invited.
I'd be like, these people don't know.
Don't know one. It's good. It's not. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but it's like, you know...
It's not like they're bringing like vegetables.
Yeah, but it's like boneless.
Wow, you're being racist towards
nuggets.
towards boneless eaters. How dare you?
That isn't a thing.
It can be because you're being
racist.
What's the word? You're being
sexist. That's the word.
No. It's not sexist. You're being
homophobic.
No, there's a word for this. Stereotypical against people with boneless wings.
Yeah, no, that's true. 100%. I'm stereotyping.
Don't judge by what people eat.
If you eat boneless wings, Just order chicken nuggets. Just order chicken tenders, you know? Just order that.
No, the boneless wings are a lot different than that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are flat usually.
All right.
Boneless
Anyways.
wings are round and chewy.
What else do you like to eat during Super
Nachos,
Bowl?
hot dogs, all the great stuff.
Nachos for sure. I think my sister will be making. She usually makes like a nacho cheese, but she does it. She makes like a buffalo dipping sauce, which has pieces of chicken in it.
Ooh, I like that.
It's like real like thick and hearty. Like it's super good.
My mom says like when she used to cook like stuff like this, she always comes up with these random ideas. Like I want to cook like this just a super greasy burger, old school style. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Like the good. Like my mom's super creative when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I have always enjoyed when we have Super Bowl parties that she makes the best food.
What about beverages?
Soda, usually just soda. I'm not a big alcohol drinker.
Yeah, I like to start off Super Bowl Sunday with a little mimosa action, you know, in the mornings while I'm like helping prep the food.
How plastered are you by the third quarter?
No. I keep it good. You know, I keep it professional. You know, with the
Professional.
fans. I keep it good though, man. By halftime, I'm usually drinking water, but yeah, I like to have a little mimosa action in the morning while I'm helping around. My father usually is barbecuing, so I might be helping in there. I might be helping out there, helping inside as well. Mostly just grazing on food while everybody's prepping it.
Yeah,
because that's like the best part.
I might have a drink or maybe, but it all depends in like just the mood I'm in. But I'm usually a Diet Coke kind of guy.
Mm-hmm. Diet Coke. I like Diet Coke every now and then, but you gotta be careful with Diet Coke.
Well, actually, I used to drink regular Cokes, and I was actually incredibly overweight due to all the sugar and stuff and not working out. And I switched actually to Diet Coke, and with the working out, obviously. But I didn't really change how much I ate. It was portion control, but I changed to Diet Coke. I lost 40 pounds.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's the sugar for sure. The difference in the sugar. I will say though, Diet Coke, like with the synthetic sugar, it makes me wonder if it's like maybe doing other stuff down the road. But no, it's definitely better than.
I'm old. When I'm old. Doesn't matter how.
Well, it's better than drinking all that sugar, man. That's for sure. And the regular Coke, that's big time. Yeah, but in terms of other snacks, nachos for sure. I don't know. We usually do like some tri-tip.
Yes, tri-tip is the best.
Maybe some. We usually do like wings for sure. We usually have a few different types of wings. That's my go-to. I'm not gonna lie. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. But what about the commercials, man? We've seen. As we know, a lot of people are watching Super Bowl for the commercials. Are you I need to see the commercials, or are you I will probably just use the restroom during timeout, but I'll try and catch the commercial kind of guy?
Yeah, I'm trying to catch. I'll catch commercials every now and again, but I'll be doing some other stuff probably.
Is Bud Light going to kill it this year with the dilly dilly stuff, or
I hope so. They
really killed it last year. Like
it was
they brought down the house the last football season.
They hyped it. They hyped it up too.
Yeah,
it was awesome. And you know, there's also that Budweiser commercial with the horse and the dog or something. It's all sad. Why do you have to make it sad? AKA one of the worst commercials I've ever seen.
Isn't it like a $5 million for 30 seconds or something?
It's something
like that?
ridiculous like that. But I remember one of the worst commercials I've ever seen was Super Bowl 49, and I remember this because this little kid was talking about like I said this. I don't know if I said this on this podcast or the other ones, but it said something about a kid going, "I'll never be able to see my wife. I'll never be able to hold my babies when I'm old enough. I'll never be able to see myself graduate college." I'm like, "Oh, don't." And I actually said this out. I'm like, "Don't feel so bad, kid. I think he'll make it. Just be confident." Then the camera zooms in on his face and he goes, "Because I died in a car accident." I'm like, "What?" I don't know the actual name of what the commercial was, but I remember it shocked me, and everyone in the room just stopped talking and goes, "What the hell just happened?" Mm-hmm. And apparently that companies received backlash from that commercial as well, which I think is ironic or funny. So don't have weird, heartfelt commercials during the Super Bowl is all I'm saying.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're more of the funny.
Yeah, but also if you try to get too real, people will feel very uncomfortable during the Super Bowl. You don't want that.
What about the old Budweiser commercial? This is 1999, but it was kind of a pop culture thing. The "What's Up" commercial.
Was that?
Yeah.
Jesus
that was a
Christ.
Super Bowl commercial in '99.
Let's talk about the
And they're like,
oldest.
"What's up?"
Let's talk about Scream 1 while we're at it.
That is good. All right. What about the best halftime show that you've seen or that you know of in the Super Bowl?
I never watched the halftime show.
Never.
I don't.
Really? You haven't watched any of them?
I mean, I'll catch a glimpse of them, but I don't really care for.
Are you not interested in Maroon 5?
I have a tradition with my brothers. We play Madden in between.
Gotcha. For like 30 minutes or whatever.
Yeah,
'cause it's like the longer
we do.
halftime.
Yeah, we do a quick game, like 3 minutes, quarters. And
The best Super Bowl halftime ever is 100% fact. You can't argue this, and if anybody does, they'll get punched in the face. It's Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's Super Bowl halftime is literally the best halftime show of all time.
Katy Perry's was better.
No.
I don't know. I haven't seen any of them. So
Katy Perry I thought was good. But Michael Jackson's, like, to this day still talked about as one of the greatest performances of all time. Like, that. Before that, there was, like, he turned a halftime performance from, like, a concert to, like, a full-on production. Like, he was in different parts of the stage.
He started the trend.
He was in different parts of the stadium. He was on top of the stadium.
Which one was it that I think it was Lady Gaga that jumped from the roof of the stadium. It looked fake as hell.
It did. I like Lady Gaga, though. I will say she's very entertaining.
Like, I'm assuming the camera angle is fake, but I'm assuming that she actually did jump off at one point.
Speaking of which, I know this is a football podcast, but can we talk about Lady Gaga for a minute? She went from a pop culture, whatever, like, singer to, dude, she's done the Super Bowl. She sang the national anthem at a Super Bowl. She is now a actress being nominated for an Oscar. Like, dude, she has really, like, transformed her career. That's crazy.
Moving on.
I just wanted to point that out.
No, we're moving on. I respect her too, but this is not what it's about.
Now we're getting into prediction time, man. Super Bowl 53 predictions.
My body
This
is
is
ready.
what you're doing. Let me know what you think, Jeff. I know you're going to build this up. I know who you're going to pick, but the audience needs to know why you're picking them. Why
They don't need to know anything.
They need to know.
I live my life the way I want to
All
live
right,
it.
so who do you think is going to win? Defend this.
Well, between the Patriots and the Rams, and maybe if the Saints interfere like it's a WWE wrestling match, I don't know what's going to happen there. But I'm going Patriots. And I'm thinking this could be a higher score game than what Tony Romo says.
So you're saying that you're going to go against Tony Romo?
Well, no. He didn't say a winner. He just said a score. And I agree that it's going to be a one-score game. It's going to be 38-35 Patriots.
Isn't it interesting that all of the Patriots Super Bowls under Belichick have been all decided by 8 points or less?
Yeah. But one of the main things with that is I have been a hater. I'm going to admit it. I've been wrong about the Patriots this whole season. So I've admitted my mistakes. I admitted my mistakes for the Chiefs, and I admitted my mistakes for the Patriots. I feel like I just cursed them a little bit, but I think I think the Patriots are going to do it.
Mm-hmm. So you got 38-35.
And I'm going to go on a limb here. MVP, Sony Michel.
So do you think that this game, do you think that this ending will be like Brady leads his team to a last-second field goal to win the game, or do you think maybe the Patriots hold off the Rams at the end of the game?
I'm thinking Patriots hold off Rams at the end of the game.
Okay.
Jared Goff is going to throw like a costly pick or something.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't trust him. I honestly just don't trust him.
I think you said Sony Michel's going to win MVP?
I think that's a bull. That's what.
Yeah. You're giving your prediction.
Yeah.
It's a shot in the dark.
Yeah, because he's had some great games. He's had 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games in the playoffs. So why not go for another great game, right? It's not like it's not like he's not been playing well. He's been playing great.
I got the Rams to win 31-28. The Rams.
Is it another
win this
57-yard field goal to win the game?
The Rams win this game because they're able to pressure Brady with a 4-man rush. And like you mentioned earlier with that stat, when the Super Bowls that Brady loses, there's one thing in common, and that's the pass rush really affects Brady. And the Rams have the horses to do it. Will they do it? We will see. But I think they can do it. And if they can do it, they win. I like the Rams offense to do enough. I don't think Jared Goff has a Nick Foles type game or anything like that. I really don't. But I do think they'll run the ball well. I think they'll pass it enough. And my Super Bowl MVP, it might sound a little bit weird, but I'm going to go with Robert Woods. I think Robert Woods will have...
So we're both going with long shots here.
Yeah, I mean, they're not the obvious. It's weird that neither one of us took a quarterback. I mean, that is weird because quarterbacks usually win the MVP.
Yeah, but I think it's just one of those... It's just, let's try to be different here.
I wouldn't be surprised if a defensive player won it, though. I really wouldn't.
Oh, I can see Aaron Donald winning it. Mm-hmm. I can see Stephon Gilmore winning it, to be honest with you. I can see him picking up Goff a couple times.
Yeah.
That's who we forgot to talk about a lot. Stephon Gilmore is a key factor in this defense as well.
It's also cool, too, that the McCourty brothers are playing in the Super Bowl next to each other, with each other.
That's a pretty cool brother moment right there. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not many people get that, so it's I don't think anyone's ever done that, so it's a very special moment for those two.
Yep. Anyways, that's our Super Bowl 53 show. Join us Monday. We'll obviously be talking about Super Bowl recap all show long on Monday as we break down why Team A won and why Team B lost. And we won't know who it will be until we watch the game like everybody else, but I'm excited about it. Even though I don't have a rooting interest in this game, I think it does have the ability to be a very memorable Super Bowl. What about you?
I agree with you. I think every Super Bowl has the chance to be a great Super Bowl. I don't think there's ever been like, oh, this Super Bowl's going to suck, Mm-hmm. So, that's right. But thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday, everybody. Make sure you drink responsibly, drive home safe, have a designated driver if you need one. And as always, I'm
Uber and Lyft.
I'm Jeff Malinoff. That's Mark Souza. We'll see you on Monday.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.